Reporting for Strategic Facilities magazine. As everyone may know or may not know, I'm the Group Director and Editor-in-Chief for PSG Global Publications, and in particular our flagship magazine, Strategic Facilities. Today on the couch with me for this chill-out session in Bangalore in November 2009, I have Mr. Vijay Pradhan, who is the Executive Director for the Storage Network Industry Association of India. And immediately to my left is Shaheen Meeran, who is a Managing Director for SCHNABEL Data Center Consultants in India. Shaheen is also the Chairperson, Expert Group on Energy Efficient Data Centers, the IAEMP. Very much for joining us. I think just in this session, as we have done in panel sessions before, just get you to introduce yourself, just with a bit of a bit in your background.
Sure. You did a pretty good introduction. In addition to what you said, I'm an engineer. That's my background, and SCHNABEL is in the business of planning and designing data centers. And given the fact that energy efficiency and greenness is becoming key to clients making decisions on how they want to deploy projects and how they want to run existing facilities, it makes sense for us to be a part of organizations such as the IAEMP, where we're looking at new trends, thought leadership from us, renewable energy efficiency.
Thank you very much for
that. I'm an engineer by background, also did a MBA course sometime way back in history. Been working in the IT industry for about 25 odd years. Right now working with SNIA, trying to make SNIA into a vibrant organization in India, focused on storage and storage infrastructures, bringing together technology leaders in the storage area and the end user community.
Thank you very much. And I think I'll direct the first question to Mr. Pradhan. In regard to storage, we know that the data center physical infrastructure is one component about making an effective and efficient facility in the computer environment to deliver the proper business solutions. But we've noticed over a number of years the growth in the technology in the storage and also the server environment. It's become from just standard boxes which don't take up too much power to very, very high density compact environments, and we need to be able to deal with that. And they're one of the huge costs in power and cooling in the data center itself, and of course that flows on to the overall costs to the organisation. We need to address some of those type of issues, which is what we're doing before was addressing the physical infrastructure issues, general power and cooling and real estate, but until recent years, maybe 5 to 6 years ago, nothing really was done on the computer environment, the storage environment. So with the first question I'd like to pose to you, storage in the data center plays a significant role in the overall data center efficiencies. How have the advancements in storage technology helped reduce the operating cost?
Yeah, I think again, that's a very good question. Over the last couple of years, the storage industry has come out with a number of pieces of software solutions, which I call is green software, because there's a tendency to sort of forget the software and look at the hardware itself from the standpoint of consuming energy. The whole areas of virtualization of storage, for example, the ability to deduplicate content, the ability to create virtualized storage environments. These are helping customers reduce the energy infrastructure that they need to be able to manage the data requirements and the applications of the users. Just a few years ago, storage was about connecting the server and the storage boxes together. Today you have a number of possible solutions in terms of virtualizing the storage environment, increasing the utilization of storage, and you also have different kinds of storage today. You have the fiber channel storage, you have the SATA storage, you have the tape library storage. So customers and users now have a wider choice in terms of the kind of devices they want to use to be able to store their data. And all these elements of storage have different appetites in terms of energy. So when they match the requirements of the storage equipment with the application requirements, they can really work out what their energy map should look like.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I suppose really following on from that, and I'll lead this question over to both of you, welcome in your realms. When designing a data centre, what considerations do need to be made for those high density associated storage environments?
Sure. So, high density storage environments, I probably expand the question to just high density storage, IT networking, all put together. One realization in the industry is that high density environments in the data center lend themselves well to energy efficiency. The more dense your data center, the better the ability to address the needs, the energy needs of the data center efficiently. Having said this, what I also believe needs to happen within the community for storage, servers, or for people making networking equipment is that the opportunity to reduce the requirement for energy based on density has a wonderful multiplying effect on the overall facilities energy requirements. So there is some research available where 1 watt saved on what I call the load, on the load side, translates to 2.84 watts saved on the overall facility level.
That's what we see in the cascading effect.
The exact cascading effect. And I think that gives plenty of room to look at spending R&D dollars, changing the nature of the goods, packing them densely, and then seeing the benefits upstream on the energy.
In addition to what you said, I believe that the motivation to really go and look at making your storage infrastructure greener than it is really this multiplying effect that was mentioned. Second, of course, is being able to use the earlier concept which have been there in terms of the appropriate storage for the appropriate job. We know that the power consumption of many storage devices are related to the fourth power of the speed of the device. And so if you use a slower capacity disk as opposed to a high-speed disk, you can certainly change the picture of the energy requirements. So the key is to really marry your requirements with the technology available.
I suppose really flowing on from that too is, we mentioned about storage, commute environment, say to now, what it was 10 years ago. So what significant differences do you see from being 10 years ago and 5 years ago? And just how, how has the storage advanced in these particular time periods? And I suppose the second part of that is where do you see that technology being in another 5 years' time?
I think that there are new elements that are being added in the storage infrastructure. For example, we have devices known as MAID devices, which is a massive array of idle disks coming out. We're now seeing the addition of solid-state storage devices entering the infrastructure of the data center. This is making the life of the data center manager more complicated than it is already, because he needs to be able to make sure that he chooses the right technology for the right job. Having said that, not many people realize that working at reducing the energy envelope data center is hard work. It's not very, very easy, not straightforward. The simple task, of course, is throw hardware at the problem and hope that it disappears. But otherwise, if they can plan and manage the data better, they are in a better position to use the new technology.